Today we're looking at reading and writing numbers to the thousandths place. Notice that it's thousandths. That shows that we're going to be using decimals. And when we read and write numbers to, that have decimals in them, it's often helpful to use a place value chart. Now this is the place value chart directly from our text, and I tried to blow it up a little bit and it's a little bit blurrier than I'd like, and so I'm just going to read the places, and then we'll start. Here's the ones, tens, hundreds, and then 1,000, 10,000, 100,000s. Notice that the period here is the ones, the period here is the thousands, and between those is where we would put our comma. Here we have a decimal point. A decimal point is what separates the whole numbers from the parts of a whole. And notice just as these go up by a factor of 10, 1 times 10 is 10, 10 times 10 is 100, 100 times 10 is 1,000, to 10,000 and to 100,000 and so forth. These decrease. If we go the other direction, the value decreases by a factor of 10. 1 divided by 10 is 1/10. 1/10 divided by 10 is 1/100th, and then 1,000th. So let's say we've got this problem. Write this number here in word form. Oftentimes, if we say the number in the mathematical way, we write it pretty much exactly the same way. But sometimes it's helpful to use a number chart. But that's what we're going to do today. So I'm just going to get a color here. And I'm going to write this in our place value chart, and then I'm going to write it out in word form. So where's the decimal point? Here's the decimal point. 43 is to the left of the decimal point, so I'm going to put a 43 directly to the left on this side. Then I've got a 3 and then a 6. If this was just 43, I would just say 43. So that's what I would write. I would write 43. When we come to the decimal point, I'm not going to put a decimal point in my writing. I should say and 43 and then I'm going to look at the whole, although this is a part of a number, I'm going to look at both of these two digits. If you just had these two digits by themselves, how would you read it? You would read it as 36. So 43 and 36. I can't just write 43 and 36. 43 and 36 what? Well, I look to see where the last digit is, and I'm going to write this number right here. 43 and 36 hundredths. Now I should have put my little hyphens in there. So this number in word form, 43 and 36 hundredths, is just how I say it, 43 and 36 hundredths. Let's try one more. Write this number in standard form. This time we have to read the number 41 and 16 thousandths. So the very first thing I'm going to do is look for the word and, because I know that would be where the decimal point goes. So what is to the left of and? 41. So I would just write 41 and 16 thousandths. This is the important part here, because if I just write a 16 here, that would be 16 hundredths. Well, that's not what our problem says. Our problem doesn't say 16 hundredths, it says 16 thousandths, which means I've got to have this 6 ending in this one, then the one right in front of it, and we need a 0 for a placeholder. So here we have 41 and 16 thousandths. Takes a little bit to get used to, but the more you practice, the easier it will become. I hope this was helpful.